Okay, so the previous owners of this house had a hot tub here in this patio, but we don't really have a use for it. So we're going to put an above-ground garden here. I've used locating flags to indicate where the edge of the garden's going to be. The cement will work as just kind of a nice workspace, and we won't trample down the ground into a muddy pit.
The first stage of this project was to assemble all the layers of the raised garden bed. We chose to build it above ground because the yard is low-lying and tends to get drowned out in heavy rain. This process was not so much difficult as it was just time-consuming to cut all the boards and fasten them in the corners with deck screws.
I recommend a healthy combination of power tools and beer. The original plan to prevent this long 11-foot side from bowing out because of the weight of the dirt was to pound these stakes into the ground along here and then screw them to the side. That way you don't have this give. I began to have suspicions that a lot of the utilities were buried through here, and after having the yard located, I determined that was correct. In fact, one of the utilities runs right along the side, so pounding this into the ground is going to cut right through that. So instead, I have this 1/2-inch threaded rod that we're going to run through both sides, top and bottom. This will be all filled with dirt, so it won't matter that it's going all the way through the center. And that should help give this some stability.
So we're using the lasagna method. We put layers of cardboard and leaves and stuff that can compost first, and then we'll put dirt on top of that, and so that way the compost will enrich the dirt as it breaks down.
For quality dirt, we visited the Cedar Rapids landfill, more commonly known by us locals as Mount Trashmore. Keeping it classy, Cedar Rapids. All of the city's yard waste is sent here to be composted, and you can get your first ton of it for free, and it only costs about $22 per additional ton for some very high-quality dirt. The final stage was filling in the garden, and this was the hardest part. We got about 2.5 tons of dirt, and we could not back the trailer up to the garden, so we shoveled it into trash cans and drug it around the back, all 2.5 tons of it, which any of you math wizards out there watching this will know, 2.5 tons converts into 5,000 pounds, which took us about 4 hours to move from the front to the backyard.
And now, only a few short months after the garden bed was completed, you can see the plants have filled in. We can check out what we got growing. A couple things that we learned from doing the garden. Next year, we probably would not plant such large-growing, low-yield vegetables like the broccoli or the cauliflower because they just crowd everything out, but you only get 1 head of broccoli or cauliflower per plant. Instead, we would probably do more things like the tomatoes or radishes or green beans that are smaller plants, yet way higher yielding. Okay, that was back in April. Now that it's August, you can see these tomatoes are completely out of control. This whole project ended up being a whole lot of work and a lot of fun. And in the end, the overall costs really weren't that high.
The total cost of the building materials purchased at Menards came to about $202. That included all the board planks, the deck screws, the corner brackets, and the stakes that we were not able to pound into the ground. After those were returned, $32 was knocked off. Because of the cost of the threaded rod, the nuts, and the washers to stabilize the whole structure, that added $32 back on. The U-Haul rental for the trailer was about $20, and we filled that with 2 trips of dirt from the landfill, Mount Trashmore. The cost for that second trip came to be about $17, but because we got 1.5 tons, that should have been more prorated towards $33. Not sure why that went down the way it did. In the end, the total cost of this project was $241.32. Not bad.
Thank you very much for watching my video this month about how we put this garden together. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next month on the 15th.